at Sing with Michael Gerber, the author of The E-Myth, who has created an amazing program from start to finish on how you could create a business, how you can get it successful, and also has created amazing life transformations in the lives of thousands of entrepreneurs around the world. He's probably the most influential entrepreneurial and business writer of our time. And it's really cool to have you here. He's somebody who also has been doing this for literally 4 decades. And I'd love for you to share about how the different systems that you developed can inspire a business to get success. In my business, personally, we have the world's largest dating coaching company. A lot of it had to do with the roles that you were talking about in your ebook, in terms of like whether there's a technician or an entrepreneur who's like my visionary business partner, or myself, who's kind of like the technical operational manager. Right. But I'd love for you to describe how these roles function together and the strategies that a business will employ, having the right people in the right place.
Oh, super. The work that we've done has been essentially based upon one premise, and that is that people who go into business, take off, leave the job, and start a new company, aren't really the entrepreneurs they think they are, or that anybody else says they are. They're not entrepreneurs at all. They're what I come to call technicians suffering from an entrepreneurial seizure, meaning they create a job for themselves. And the vast majority of companies on earth are really self-employed people. Doing it. You know, a graphic designer, a software guy, a hardware guy, a chiropractor, you name it. But essentially what they did is they created a job for themselves. So now they're self-employed, a small business, and they're doing everything. They're not only the chiropractor, but they're the dishwasher, they're the carpet cleaner, well, you understand. So they're doing it, busy, and the business goes on from a job to a practice. And the difference between a job and a practice are very, very critical to understand. The job is the client fulfillment system. It's the chiropractic service you're delivering. The problem is that the chiropractor never goes to work on the job, they go to work in the job. So they don't develop a turnkey client fulfillment system, they simply go to work every day. Well, the problem with the guy who goes to work every day is you can't scale it, because you can't replicate it. And because you can't replicate it, you're consumed by doing it every day, day after day after day, until you just get exhausted. So our approach to them is to start even before that. So we're going to start before anybody starts a company, or if they've already started a company, to tell them we're going to begin your company all over again. So we're going to start to work with you on new co, not on old co. Not the company you got. We're not going to fix your company. We're going to invent a new company from the get-go. Now, how do you do that? By awakening the entrepreneur within. So the entrepreneur is 4 distinct personalities: a dreamer, a thinker, a storyteller, and a leader. The dreamer has a dream, the thinker has a vision, the storyteller has a purpose, and the leader has a mission. And we define exactly what a dream is, a vision is, a purpose is, and a mission is. Those 4 personalities are the core entrepreneurial creation of a company that's going to grow. So understand, it's about growth. It's about scalability. It's about the ability to replicate it faithfully in the hands of other people, not by doing it yourself. Once somebody gets that, Nicholas, once they really get that, everything changes. But most people never really get that. So with Beyond the E-Myth, what we have begun here at 80 in my new enterprise with my wife, Liz Delia, who's the CEO of our company, Michael E. Gerber Companies, what we're here to do is to create a completely new way of approaching every single individual on earth who ever thought they wanted to go out on their own, and there are more and more of them because there aren't any jobs to go to. How to do that in a way that will work and can scale. And our course, which is a simple video course, 3.5 hours of me aggravating the guy who's watching me, take him through the process of the dream, the vision, the purpose, the mission, the job, the practice, the business, the enterprise. The dream, the vision, the purpose, the mission, the job, the practice, the business, the enterprise is to show them this is a method for creating a company that can grow exponentially. And I want to teach everybody in the face of this earth how to do that.
We've always built our business also to be that automated process, and it sounds like you've kind of done that as well. Do you feel like there's a certain amount of people that have to work with you, or do you think a lot of it could be done through technology? You've been talking earlier a little bit about what we used to term as freedom businesses, those lifestyle businesses where you might have that one-man shop. It's kind of like in the job. Is there a way where these people could kind of do that as a one-man company? Do they need a team? Because it sounds like you have like a people structure, a marketing structure, all these other structures. Is there a certain amount of people that you feel like it becomes a real business?
Well, understand, let's sort of separate ourselves from the language we always use. A team, technology, et cetera, and so forth. Let's just approach it from a completely fresh perspective. In short, it's not that. It's what evolves from this. So it's not that, meaning the old ideas, a lifestyle business, it's none of that. Just clear the slate of all the old talk. Just clear the slate of it. Even the word dream evokes a word that we already know. Vision already evokes a word that we know. I'm saying, forget that crap. We're just going to forget about everything we ever heard or believed or thought about in relationship to the subject here. The subject here is completely fresh and new. So it's a blank piece of paper and beginner's mind. Fresh, bold, and new. But it's discovering inside of myself what I'm here to do. And in that process, it will take form. And it takes form in this literal hierarchy of growth that I'm describing, which is what the evolution of an enterprise really is, the hierarchy of growth from a job, which is my client fulfillment system, to a practice, which is the three-legged stool called lead generation, lead conversion, client fulfillment. That's my franchise prototype. To a business, which is nothing other than replicating the practice up to 7 times, plus a turnkey management system, and then an enterprise, which is nothing other than a turnkey business up to 7 times, plus a turnkey leadership system. Now let's go through that. Step 1, step 2, there's a method to this madness. I'm saying the reason most companies fail, and they do, is because there is no method. So you understand, once one understands there's a method, and we've been applying this method religiously, rigorously, in every kind of industry imaginable, once you understand there's a method for this, then you can begin to practice it. Once you can begin to practice it, something remarkable occurs. And what I'm really suggesting is we don't tell people what the outcome of this method is going to be. They find it. But we can define what it's going to be, called a dream, a vision, a purpose, a mission, a job, a practice, a business, an enterprise. Holy moly! You mean that's what all this has been about? Yeah, isn't that remarkable?
A lot of my company has been built around my business partner, kind of instilling that long-term vision into the future, that 5 to 10 year goal of turning the company from like a $10 million company into like a 100 or larger $1 million company. And the challenge has been so much in terms of finding the right people and putting the right people in place, because we have so many people that are working in different cities as opposed to all living here in Los Angeles or where I live in Las Vegas. Sure. Have you noticed that there was a different way of managing people remotely as opposed to doing it locally? And is there like a preference in terms of your systems in order to ensure operational efficiency and effectiveness?
Well, I'm saying that that has already been solved. You understand, that's not a new problem or a new question. McDonald's solved that, but they started in the 50s. So understand, McDonald's solved that. Subway sandwiches solved that. Starbucks solved that. It's already been done. You understand, it's already been done, but how did they solve that? Well, they solved that by creating an absolutely clear turnkeyable, replicable, scalable method. So the method to what you're talking about is key. Once you begin to understand that there is a method for doing exactly what you're saying, doesn't matter whether she's in Minneapolis or he's in Schenectady, doesn't matter where they are, they're here. So wherever they are, they're here. There's got to be a here. What's the here? That's the heart of it. So the heart of your enterprise, whether it's 100 million, a billion, 50 billion, or 10,000, the heart of your enterprise has to be secure. And that heart of your enterprise is the story that resides at the bottom of it. And that's why I say, once you have a dream, a vision, a purpose, and a mission, once you're clear what they are, they never change. So my dream, way back in 1977, I mean, you know, where are we now? 1977, my dream was explicated. It was truly written down and stated to transform the state of small business worldwide. That's what our dream was. Our dream is the same today. Our vision then was to invent the McDonald's of small business consulting. Our vision hasn't changed one iota since then. Our purpose was that every independent small business owner can be as successful as a McDonald's franchisee and more. How do you do that? That was our mission. Our mission then was to invent the system to do that. A scalable, turnkey, replicable, faithful, integrated, holistic system. So the minute you see that, you get the whole of that. Then you begin to understand that language about on the other edge, on the other edge, on the other edge, on the other edge always starts from here. So if he's starting from the same place you are, if you're starting from the same place he was, you're all doing this thing which has its own life to it. And it's the communication of that life, that spirit, that energy, that in fact connects all of the people wherever they are.
One of the things that always fascinates me is about how people go, what I call in field into the business. So for your clients, how deep are you crossing that line from being a consultant to actually going in field into the business and actually tinkering with their operations and with their people and their strategy and their marketing?
We don't tinker with anything. They do. So you understand, we avoid tinkering with anything. Now understand, I'm the chief aggravator. So I call myself the chief aggravator. I just piss people off all the time. That's my job. But you understand what I'm really doing is saying, get out of there. They're stuck, they're stuck, they're stuck. We want to liberate them. Now I can't liberate anybody, but you can. You can liberate you, and he can liberate him, and she can, you follow me. My job is to provide the energy for that. My job is to provide the method for that. My job is to inspire, teach, train, coach, mentor that individual to go beyond himself. And so our job, coaching, facilitating, mentoring, training, whatever it is really to stimulate, to inspire, educate, train, coach, mentor, all of those things, the 5 essential functions that have to occur: inspiration, education, application, implementation, continuous improvement. That's the outcome of inspiration and epiphany. It's the outcome of education, understanding, you follow, experience, and on and on. So my point is, as that happens, that method is applied rigorously, all for one reason: to awaken the entrepreneur within. Always, because that is where our economy is founded and funded. Once we start that, it's an endless cycle. It's just continuous. And the awakening that happens in individuals we work with is just astonishing. Or they just go dead. I mean, it's either that or the other thing. They just stop.
Last question for you.
Yeah.
So much of what you talk about is geared at those people that are owning the business and starting businesses. What about those people that work for other people that want to be entrepreneurial and try to figure out their place? How does the E-Myth as a system apply for those people who never want to become an entrepreneur but want to be more entrepreneurial?
Well, it's interesting when you say never wanted to become an entrepreneur, meaning go out on my own and start something.
Right.
But want to be entrepreneurial. What you're really saying, want to be creative.
Exactly.
How do you inspire those people? In exactly the same way as I would anybody who's going out on his own. Because essentially, wherever they are, they're really on their own. You understand, if they're working for Murray, they're on their own. If they're working for Jerry, they're on their own. If they're working for Starbucks, they're on their own because they've got a life they're living. And what is that life that they're living? So essentially what I want to do with everyone is to inspire them to wake up. And if I can inspire them to wake up, then for the first time probably, they're going to begin to ask their question, what in the hell am I doing here? You understand? Why am I working for Murray? Why did I take this job? What does this job have to do with me? And am I, in fact, in alignment with what this job is supposed to be about? So the minute they begin to ask those questions, Nicholas, you understand, the minute they begin to be engaged in that internal conversation, something new happens. And when that something new happens, it's all over. You understand? It's all over. Because it's not a question, do I want to have a job or create my own? It's a question of, why am I here? What's the purpose of my life? And what am I going to do with it? So in the original E-Myth book that we published in 1986, Harper published it, there's a process, 7 steps for creating a successful company. The first step has nothing to do with the company. The first step is called your primary aim. And so your first step is really, why are you here? And in the book, I asked them to take a look at the end game, called your crap out date. And suddenly you're watching somebody address an audience. And that somebody is telling the story of your life. Well, that somebody, I'm saying, is you. What are you going to tell them? What are you going to tell the people who've come to your funeral about what you did in your life? And we cause or make happen our reader go through the process of writing that script. So Nicholas, what's the script of your life? And if you were to sit down and imagine now you're at your own funeral and you're recorded a story, a message that you want to share with the people there, rather than having somebody come up and tell your story, you're going to tell it. But in order to do that, you're going to have to create it in advance before your crap out date. And that's what happens at the beginning of a company. And in fact, that's what happens to that guy who's working for Murray. Tell that story and you'll suddenly come face to face with the fact, I don't know. I don't know what I would say. I have no idea what my life would look like if I were to live the life I'm here to live.
Outstanding. Thanks so much, Michael.
Thank you.
Awesome.
My pleasure.
Cheers.